What's going on, everyone? It's Joe here, back again with Jar Jar Jargon. Today, we are doing predictions for the Ahsoka Season 1 finale. First things first, though, please hit subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We are now less than 100 away. So let's get into it. We know that the episode is going to be roughly 43 minutes long. That is not including the credits or the intro sequence. It's a pretty good length, I think, for a finale. It's pretty much on par with the rest of finales we've gotten in the Mandoverse era shows. Episode 7 really didn't give us any kind of lead off or clue on where episode 8 will pick up, so I'm be kind of interested to see what happens here. I could potentially see Ezra, Ahsoka, Sabine going after Thrawn, especially because we know he has no intent to attack them at this point. He's only concerned about time and getting the hell off Peridea. We do know for a fact that he is going to board the Eye of Sion. We've all seen the clip. It was in the initial trailer, which is pretty crazy because we haven't actually seen that clip just yet in the show. Now, how it's going to go down and who will be joining him on that journey is still really up in the air. I do believe that there's going to be at least one major conflict that takes place before Thrawn escapes, however, and I'm sure that we're going to see some sort of major death take place in that conflict as well. And my prediction is that it's going to be Morgan Elsbeth. As others have said, she really serves no purpose in the story going forward. Her purpose has already been completed, and that was to find Thrawn, deliver the Eye of Sion to him. Now, of course, in the last couple episodes, she's kind of been playing off him in terms of helping him explain to the audience what his strategy is and why he's doing things the way he is. But we already know that Pellaeon is in the core galaxy, and Pellaeon will absolutely pick up that role going forward for Season 2 and the Dave Filoni movie that's going to be coming out later. Another death I could absolutely see taking place, and I talked about this in another video, is obviously Baylan Skoll, and that's mainly due to the fact that Ray Stevenson has passed in real life, and that I don't think there's really any way to continue his story without recasting. And I don't think that Disney's going to recast because Kathleen Kennedy and others have said time and time again that it's not something that they're looking to do. Now, how they're going to work that into the story if they didn't already shoot something along the lines of that, maybe they had reshoots, maybe they'll use visual effects or something along those lines, but I really hope we figure out what's been calling to him this whole time and what he's been looking for. I hope there's not some massive cliffhanger that would really put a damper on Season 2. It's already, bad enough that we lost him. He's been great in the show. He's been absolutely incredible. And if they have to recast, I wouldn't mind them doing it. Obviously, I'm a fan of them actually recasting the entire original trilogy trio, even though it seems like that's not going to happen either. But I think at some point you do have to just tell the stories with the characters, whether the actor is able to be there or not. But anyway, I definitely think it's a possibility that Baylan Skoll dies in this series, in this season finale. I don't think it would be at the hands of any of our Jedi except maybe Ezra. We really don't know the full extent of Ezra's power yet, but we do know that Ahsoka isn't even strong enough to beat him, so I really don't see Ezra being the one to do that either. As for our heroes, I think they're all safe, at least in terms of living. Maybe not Ezra based on the last comments he made in episode 7, but I think that more has to do with the fact that they are going to be stranded in Peridea. I don't see any way that they're going to be able to board Thrawn's ship, the Chimera, and escape to the core galaxy with him. Stranding them out in the galaxy will really make for an interesting story going forward, of course, because we wouldn't be sure how they're going to get back. As far as we know, the Purrgil come to Peridea to die, essentially, so I don't see them coming out there and then making the trip all the way back to the core galaxy. It should make for a really interesting plotline in Season 2 and going forward, and I would say there's even a possibility that they are stranded there forever, which explains why they're not around during the events of the sequel trilogy. And I wouldn't put it past Dave Filoni to do something like that, especially because that would allow those characters to kind of move forward and have their own story. There could be a lot of interesting things in this new galaxy and villains that aren't like the Empire at all. So we get some really new and fresh stories out of Star Wars in this new galaxy with heroes that we actually do care about and love already, that being Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine. I do need to at least touch on one leak and rumor that we've heard several times since kind of the beginning of the season, so I'd say click off if you don't want to hear it, but that is that supposedly Ezra is going to make it back to the core galaxy. And the only way I can see that happening is if he is secretly working with Thrawn, and maybe that's why Thrawn hasn't killed him after all this time. how the hell else is he going to get aboard the Chimera without Thrawn knowing and somehow just hiding and waiting till he arrives in the new galaxy? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to once again split him up from Sabine as well. So I'm not really sure whether or not I believe that leak, unless, like I said, maybe he's actually working with Thrawn, and that would be a ridiculous twist for the season finale if it happened. Aside from that, I think we're going to get some awesome action sequences, hopefully with some solid choreography. We already know that the Night Sisters have been called on for their dark magic. I think we're going to see some like undead or zombified stormtroopers fighting our three heroes. That will all culminate in Ahsoka taking on Morgan Elsbeth, which we already know is happening because the actress who plays Morgan Elsbeth kind of leaked that in an interview a while ago, that they had a lot of choreography and it took 3 days to shoot. So I think there's going to be a pretty epic battle there, which will of course end with Morgan's death, as I already predicted. As far as cameos go, I really don't think we're going to see anyone new in the episode itself. However, I think the opportunity exists for a really solid post-credit scene. And yes, Mandalorian Season 3 didn't have a post-credit scene. Some shows have, some shows haven't. It's really hard to say if we're going to get one or not. But like I said, the opportunity exists for a great one here because we know that the threat of Thrawn is going to be real in the core galaxy once again at the end of the show when he arrives. And that's when our New Republic heroes, maybe Hera or even Mon Mothma, can go and call on someone from the original trilogy. And that could either be Luke, or of course, who's already been teased in episode 7, Leia. And if they go the route of Leia, I really hope that they use Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter, to play her. If they want to do some minor deep faking CGI, sure, but they really don't need to do a lot. This is Carrie Fisher's daughter. She already looks like her in terms of facial features. Just dress her up like Leia. It would be awesome to see. She's right around the correct age as of now as well to be playing Leia in this time period. That's really all I got in terms of kind of big predictions for the episode. I'd love to know your guys' theories. What do you think is going to happen in the episode? Anything crazy? Any crazy cameos or character deaths? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Please do hit like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.
Lolo Matapha.